In 2015, I launched and became CEO of a resource company designed to profit from the rise of electric vehicles.
This is the production well right up on our right-hand side here.
Called Lithium X, it took me on a wild journey. From the deserts of Nevada and Argentina to the boardrooms of Manhattan and Shanghai.
You're obviously a very young CEO. You started the company at 27. How did you do it?
This past March, the company was sold to a Chinese firm for over $250 million. I've always been good at identifying big trends early and getting involved with small, high-growth companies. Lithium was the perfect example of a trend that was being supported by the media and the likes of Elon Musk. They made it far easier for the story to advance and shareholders to make money. Growing up, I was an enterprising kid, a trait passed down to me by my dad. He was an incredibly polished general manager at one of the nicest hotels in town, and he always came home with the best stories. They were often about some of the world's most famous business titans. Many of them would have meetings or stay at his hotel. One day, he told me about Frank Giustra.
I love what I do.
A legendary investor who founded Lionsgate Films, the largest independent studio in Hollywood, and co-founded what is now Goldcorp, one of the leading gold mining companies in the world.
He's a mining and a movie mogul. Most recently, though, Frank Giustra's attention has focused on the business of giving. He joins us now. Great to have you here.
Nice to be back.
Little did I know what the future would hold. 10 years later, Frank Giustra and I would be partners, launching, building, and selling Lithium X together. Now we're turning our attention to an exploding area of growth, an opportunity I believe is as great as Lithium X, only on a much, much larger scale.
Netflix has now become a streaming video colossus, bestriding the world with fabulous original programming that has totally transformed the way we watch TV.
In the eyes of investors, there is very little slowing down Netflix these days. The company's stock has been red hot, up 90% this year.
The market popularity of services like Netflix and others like Amazon Prime is off the charts. This success is now driving a massive ground floor investment opportunity, the creation of premium content.
It's not only about making a volume of shows, but it's making sure that they have high quality shows. What we have heard from media industry leaders is that the biggest scarcity isn't getting access to shows per se, but it's having the best writers, the best producers make those shows happen.
This is the global headquarters of Frank Giustra's business empire. Frank and I work out of this office together and are partners in a number of businesses, but none of them have more upside than Thunderbird Entertainment, a company with an interest in an impressive library of original content, ranging from Hollywood blockbusters like Blade Runner 2049.
What do you want? I want to ask you some questions.
To Netflix's popular animated series Beat Bugs, featuring the music of the Beatles.
All you need is love, love, love is all you need.
I remember when I first started here, you reminded me that these were the founding offices of Lionsgate Films. And now here we are launching another film and television public company. You've called a few trends in your investing career, and over the last 3 years, you and I have put together a few very exciting projects, including Lithium X, which we recently sold for just over $250 million.
Good job.
Thank you. What do you see now in the film and television business, and why Thunderbird now?
On calling trends, I think it's just recognizing what the potential demand is for something. You always start with where, what do people want? A product, a service, a commodity? Where's that demand going to come from? And to be early enough in the game so that you're not coming at the end when it's all over, when there's too much competition. Yeah. So I think in all of those respects, Thunderbird just was the ideal time and place for the next, for my next venture into this area, into the entertainment business. And I just see us tapping into a tremendous amount of pent-up demand.
Hi, how are you?
This is Jennifer McCarran, the CEO of Thunderbird Entertainment.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
She's leading what's already a very serious media enterprise, with a library in excess of 600 hours and 16 shows currently in production that have total budgets exceeding $100 million annually. The company produces factual, animated, and scripted content via its various divisions, and also runs a distribution unit. But Jennifer has her sights set on growing much bigger.
Thunderbird is the next global studio, and with the need for content, with our track record of success, We are uniquely positioned to be the next Pixar. It's going to happen.
Disney bought Pixar from Steve Jobs for over $7 billion in 2006. It's a deal that many believe saved Disney's animation studio.
I'm a big believer in content and where it's going. Walk me through what you're sensing.
There is such an exploding need for content now because there's so many more platforms. There's so many different ways of consuming it, and more players continue to enter the space in terms of needing content.
I wanna hold your hand.
What's happening is only the top players are continuing to stay and explode, and a lot of the other companies have fallen off. So there's less people to provide this high level quality content.
The old model was the traditional broadcasters, the specialty channels, basically they were the gatekeepers.
Yeah.
They had a pipe that took your television programs into people's homes.
Mark Miller is the president of Thunderbird.
You had to do a deal with the guys who owned the pipe. So that was the NBCs, the ABCs of the world. Then these guys come along, Netflix, Amazon, they're not TV people really. They were kind of this newfangled distribution network. And they were young upstarts. And for whatever reason, they liked what we were doing.
This is something we've never seen before.
They really liked what Jen McCarran was doing and what we did with Beatbugs. And we took something that was familiar, Beatles music, and we turned it into something modern and hip and young for today's viewer. It basically blew this company up.
We sold it to Netflix in a really big deal,
Of course, yeah.
with a large license and merchandising behind it.
Yeah.
It's gone on to great success. And it developed our relationship with Netflix as a trusted content provider.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night.
What makes the Beatbugs story such a huge success for Thunderbird is that, in addition to making the series, the company also owns a sizable stake in the show's intellectual property rights, or IP. This means Thunderbird gets a piece of the action everywhere Beatbugs is sold, from plush toys in Target to the soundtrack on iTunes.
This season on Highway Thru Hell.
But Beatbugs isn't the only show Thunderbird owns. Highway Thru Hell is a popular show airing around the world on Discovery Channel, Netflix, Weather Channel, and National Geographic. Thunderbird owns the IP rights to this series: Heavy Rescue,
This one's really pushing me around.
the hit comedy Kim's Convenience,
I just want to say, I'm a Mr. Kim.
and The Last Kids on Earth, a new show set to debut on Netflix. The company also owns an interest in Blade Runner 2049.
They know you're here.
That's probably been one of the highlights of my life, to watch how it transformed from just a concept, which is what it was in 2010 when we acquired the rights.
There is an order to things.
To watch how that transformed from just a concept to a collaborative effort of writing a script between various people, Ridley Scott coming on board as a producer, and then finally get Denis Villeneuve on as a director, was just incredible.
Plus, Thunderbird will have an interest in any future Blade Runner endeavors, from movie sequels to TV series.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the strangest sights you will ever see.
And this plan to continually build an incredible library of IP isn't stopping.
You want to work with good people. I'm here to really shepherd what you've put out into the world, which I also happen to really believe in for girls.
We're working with Atomic Cartoons, a production team that's bringing Penelope Pineapple and her friends to life in an animated TV show.
We've optioned another book, Princesses Wear Pants.
Okay.
And with Drew Barrymore.
Oh, amazing.
And Savannah Guthrie, who is the principal on the Today Show for NBC.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of options. DreamWorks wanted it, different people wanted it, and they came to Thunderbird. And the word they used was trust.
Yeah.
Now we have full ownership in this book with them.
The company also does what's called service work. Companies like Disney, Lego, Microsoft, and Marvel have all commissioned Thunderbird to produce films and shows on their behalf.
Service, we continue to work with high-end, repeatable brands, and again, they're coming to us trusted, excellent quality.
Thunderbird is doing service work on everything from Minecraft and Lego Jurassic World to 101 Dalmatians and Marvel superheroes.
Number 401 is shut down.
As someone who's evaluated a lot of companies from various industries, I know one of the criticisms of media companies has always been whether the creativity that's involved in making a hit series or film can be duplicated.
Frank has mentioned to me on numerous occasions that early days, as he started Lionsgate Films, that the cash flow was very choppy, that they'd make a big bet on a feature film, it might work, it might not, and it was really tough to tie together predictable annual cash flow. Is that still the case today?
No, I think our model is such that our balance of service, which we have, long-term, repeatable, scalable service, and IP is the perfect blend to cash flow the situations. The other unique change is that there's so many more companies and platforms demanding content that we can't keep up with the orders.
Plus, the majority of Thunderbird's revenues come from creating content for television, a far less risky and more predictable business model than film. Frank, Jennifer, and Mark have put together an incredible team. Directors include Tim Gamble, the co-founder of Thunderbird with Frank, Yvonne Fitzon, the former CEO and president of CTV Globe Media, and Francesco Aquilini, the owner of the National Hockey League's Vancouver Canucks. And I happen to be on the board as well.
Now we have a machine, we have a model, and we can replicate that out. It's really basically just like building blocks. We just keep tacking it on. So it's interesting, our growth curve is almost logarithmic. The first couple of shows to get going took a few years, and now we're just building. It's like I come in this place, it seems every second day they're adding a new show.
The biggest reason I'm investing in and backing Thunderbird is because I see an incredible opportunity for growth, well beyond what the company is doing today. The Netflix revolution has only just begun. The iPad has only been around for less than a decade, and smartphones are still in their infancy. The sky is literally the limit.
If you're making content and you're making good content, you're going to be able to charge more and more, and you're in great shape.
And plus, Thunderbird creates content that actually makes the world a better place.
Come together right now over me.
I challenge you to go one day without coming across a Thunderbird program, whether it's an Atomic cartoon or a Great Pacific show or one of our movies. It's impossible. We have, I think, 17 things just on Netflix alone. This company is prolific. We're producing amazing content that people are buying around the world. Our shows are now seen in 170 countries around the world on dozens of platforms.
I think having a pure content play now, at this moment in history, is a very enviable position to be in. And I think, thankfully, we took the last 8 years to be ready for this situation right now, and I'm really excited about it.
Hollywood is a long way from the mineral-rich salt flats of Argentina. I'm now applying the lessons I learned with Lithium X to building a world-class entertainment company with Frank, Jennifer, Mark, and the team. I truly believe it's one of the great opportunities of our lifetime.
Can't be made. No one you can save, you can't be saved.